Sure.
Right.
It's not like terrible.
Where they put on. I know it ain't me.
That's where I thought you were going.
I know.
It could be, it could go to the board members too.
Could be.
Could be.
What's her name, wants it?
Carol. But if she could take it and run for election.
Did she get courage about her post?
Right.
There's a lot in.
Yeah.
But she's coming up.
And she's, I heard she's running. That I did. Supervisor, so I don't know if I would want to be in a position where I'm
Wow.
supervisor taking on all the issues, or I'd rather come in clean. As opposed to-
Your brother.
Or,
I think we should look at
yeah, because if you come
Yeah,
in,
you want the inside track.
but it's a lot of baggage you're carrying, it's not really yours. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting change there. They've got public hearings. If you want the information, just let me know. I'll send you out. I get a lot of stuff from the counties.
Who's driving? Who's pushing?
Yeah, I think they're all driving. I think the Republicans and Democrats are both driving. Because you got a new leader of the ledge, because she got elected to Senate. April, to Senate. There's a lot of politics going on out there right now. A lot of areas.
That's from Chief Delaware.
Sure it is.
And sorry.
You made it. We didn't get started yet.
Oh, good.
We waited just for you.
Oh, come on, don't.
There we are. Good morning.
You ready? We'll start with roll call, get rolling here. Dan Hall,
Fair?
Bob Hutchison, Tom Moses,
Here,
Andy Palmer,
here.
Mel Perkins,
Here,
Bob Reynolds,
I'm here.
we're missing Janet, Vince, and Mary Ann, Jennifer, and Mary.
Like, don't sit down.
As soon as you listen. Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion, please, to open the Hamburg IDA January 8th, 2025 Board of Directors meeting at 7:36 a.m.
So moved.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. First item, a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Bob,
I'll stay on top.
Second.
Thank you, Andy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next item is our financial report.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, our total income, if you look at everything, we did get some administrative fees of $34,377.27. So our gross income for December 24th, which closes out our year, is $38,791.04. Listed as our expenses, and most of it was internal business expenses, payroll and stuff like that to run our business. But we had $27,131.16 in total expenses, which gave us a net income. We actually were positive, $11,659.88. And our total liability and equity for the Industrial Development Agency is $941,625.52. Before we take a vote, I just want to, we've been going over thanks to Sean and Mary and the financial committee. I'd like to thank them. We looked at our year-end budget. These are just projections. We still have our audit coming up, but we did for the year-end for our budget. We ended up with a plus $7,954 compared to what we were looking at in our budget. So that's pretty cool how we've put our budgets together. I mean, we're really pretty accurate. If you go back through the years looking at our budget projections, we've been really close almost all the years. So thanks to all the board members for looking at that and taking care of that. Sean is doing a great job, and Mary keep on top of that. But just want to point that out that, you know, our budget, you know, we might have put like stuff in for websites and stuff, and we didn't spend it this year, but we'll spend it next year. But at least we're projecting now properly going out to the budget. So same with the Land Development Corporation. Everything's good on that too. I'll just give you some numbers on that later. But on that, I need a motion to move the financial report. So
Second.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jamal. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, next is my report. Just a couple of notes. Thank you, Bob Hutchison, Andy Palmer, Jamel Perkins, for your support last month with the town board meeting. Some of the proposed resolutions on development moratoriums. Now, Moses, you were there also. You know, I think for the IDA, it was important. Actually, I was surprised to see the amount of like the development community. I would say all of the local development community, not so much from the city of Buffalo, but a lot of the developers that operate, you know, that have grown up in Hamburg and invest a lot in Hamburg and Eden. That community was there. A lot of the constructors, a lot of the, you know, not even owners, a lot of like workers, laborers in the industry were there as well. Probably about 100 people or so. So I think, you know, my concern is, you know, one of the concerns in this job is developer confidence that, you know, they have, you know, they right now they can keep their money in the bank and not do too bad with it. But, you know, they do, you know, contrary to popular belief, they take a lot of risks on these developments. And, you know, when there's uncertainty in the, you know, in the local governments as to, you know, is this going to be supported? Am I going to be locked up in the entitlement process for a decade? You know, they spend their money elsewhere. So I think us supporting, you know, when we talk to advocacy and legislation, when we support these people and, you know, when we're there in the room with them and when the board is there beyond just myself, I think that means a lot. So thank you. I think it was a good result and it really showed that we're up to the plate there. And again, these people, you know, they've grown up through this and I think they respect us because of what we do and how aggressive we are going to bat for them and what we feel is right. I know there's also, you know, different views on the matter, but, you know, supporting our view and the effects of the development, I think was important. So just a thank you there. One of the questions did arise in terms of just a point of clarification, which you all know, But more so, for the record here, we generally, it's a board decision, but a straight up multifamily project, market rate apartments without mixed use, generally, they could come to the IDA, but we generally, are not in line with inducing them, I would say, because of the job creation largely. I feel that, at least from my perspective, and I don't know where low, but I feel that, unless it's an adaptive reuse, a mixed use, or really has some, lagging issues where, the IDA needs to get involved, I just feel, other IDAs operate differently, but, I think in Hamburg, you as a board, operate at least at this time and with the, past history of all these projects, you're more scrutinous with these. The one that we have supported, the Oaks, just to talk to, because that one was one that we supported with a reuse of the Immaculata Academy, is right now it's about halfway through the pilot. They get a 80% abatement, 20% of those taxes amount to $63,600 a year. And then with the special districts, it's an additional about 47,000. So that's about $110,000 annually coming in from that project. Aside from ancillary benefits of jobs that created 7 jobs that they're required to maintain, but that's $110,000 coming in each year, aside from the permanent and construction jobs that was not being generated out of that parcel. Granted, that operating as a school was beneficial to the community, but when we got involved, it was sitting dormant and just kind of falling apart.
And the school too was totally tax exempt.
Yes, yeah, the school was a but then, they were, had great education and benefits there, but for the last 5+ years. So with, generally, and we had it in our resolution, but the town does have a law in terms of the fair housing. So 10% of that is low income housing of that project, which was reported in our, pilot. So we kind of put some requirements
affordable
in
housing.
the agreement for affordable housing.
Yeah, that's great.
So just to, understand how these, and again, that's with an 80% abatement. So, that's halfway, 4 more years, that will be generating probably about, with tax rate increases over $300,000 to the taxing jurisdictions. So, the other item was we do have our reorganization meeting coming up in February for the IDA. I can send this out. Our org chart is on our website, just like the current committees, audit, finance, governance, executive committee. So if you do have any interest, please communicate that around and we'll do our elections next month.
Job as treasurer.
Hopefully everyone is here, because the town has theirs in January. So that's why we kicked that back a month in prior times. So, in wrapping up at year end, Bob talked to some of the financials, the employment, generating jobs is tough. We generated 10 jobs this year, and it was not for lack of effort. We retained 63, but it's, that job creation, we've certainly had better years, statewide, nationally, we've had better years as well, but, we
So
need
Sean, on a
focus
retention.
on that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we retained 63. Those are jobs that possibly could have went away, right?
Potentially, yes, with the, largely, that amount was with the KH
Yeah.
inducements, so if that company could not grow in Hamburg, through support with the IDA, what would they do? Would they not grow? Would they move out? Would they lay off? Would they sell? So yeah, so that counts as retained. Yes, Andy.
Well, just in going forward, and I don't want to fluff the numbers or even appear like that, but like, is there a way to capture projects that we were part of? Just the temporary jobs, like construction jobs, that give us a snapshot, because right now you got a great snapshot of, 10 jobs were created, that's good, and retained is 63, but like, of all the projects, and I think that it was the Land Development Corporation did the bonding for Beadmore. But is there a way to capture that information to give a little bit more specific on job creation? Because, I mean, we are here for long-term jobs, but there is a benefit to the temporary jobs, that guys come in and they work 2 months on the framing on oaks or something like that, you know? what I
Yeah,
mean?
because we
Just
we
a
have to
suggestion.
report on that. We
Yeah.
can capture that, yeah.
I would make it a separate item, that's all.
Absolutely, and I think people need to know that that's a temporary thing.
Right.
Well, it's reported in Paris, so I mean, we've tightened up, the last like 5 years.
I mean, Oaks was a big.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Oaks would be in
the.
Probably 100+.
We sell on, not sell, but we encourage the fact that we use all local companies in our policy.
Right.
In the 9 counties of Western New York, so we can literally say that these temporary jobs, we know for a fact that percentage of them are local.
Mhm. Yeah, we can do that.
And in a way, they're not like temporary, because you're keeping those companies moving and involved in development and construction. So I mean, they may be temporary for a project, but in the long haul, they're really,
Bringing in all the trades,
yeah.
electricians, carpenters, tile, whatever you want out there, everything's coming in on the
Yeah.
trade. Yeah, that's a good point.
Can do that.
So you made one resolution.
That was on resolutions, I'm off the hook on that.
What do we got? Okay, closings, we're still working on, T&L. We got till January 1st. 4760 Camp Road LP is E1. That'll close, I would think, before December of this year, but, that's kind of when we're looking to close by.
It's July.
July 1st, 2020, yeah, they get 2 years.
Okay,
2
you
years.
said January,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry, July.
But it's looking to close in January.
TNL, January, February, we've received that, they actually paid, in full their project fees, but we still,
Oh, nice.
I mean, we're close, we just kind
We're
of,
we're really close.
we've really been focused on the Oaks one, so that kind of took the focus.
TNL, their attorney's been on vacation.
Oh,
Lucky
okay.
guy. So it's a little slow, but I think that one will close in the next month or so. And I think on Camp Road, there's been a few wrinkles on that one. That one should close maybe this month, if not.
So, and that brings us back, I mean, that kind of leaves out, $1,000, $1,750. So, so we don't have too much of a backlog finally for once, which is nice. Gateway Building, still tracking it, under contract. We've been in touch with the buyer and the seller, just trying to work through some easement issues there with the state park at the site. In terms of the prime sites, nothing new has come up for the last month. And then speaking to anything in engagement, do I have it on here? Yes, February 5th at 6:30 is the village annual meeting at the Hamburg High School. That will serve as the first public meeting for the Village of Hamburg Brownfield Opportunity Area. So if you have any interest in that, I will certainly be in attendance, but that is coming up. There'll be some general topics on the agenda as well, but certainly that will be a good part of the focus of the meeting. The Town of Hamburg Brownfield Opportunity Area continues as well. That application hopefully should be submitted to the Department of State in probably about May this year. So that's one that's kind of getting to be over a significant hurdle. I believe there's one more public meeting. I'm continuing to work with developer engagement for like some of the Bethlehem Steel sites, certainly Republic Steel, engaging them as well. Our land, the Gateway Building, some of the key development sites there, just kind of keeping the developers involved. Off to the side, it's kind of hard to see, but Amazon had presented a $20,000 like holiday grant to Child and Family Services. So just kind of, a project that we were involved with and some benefits there. back to the community. So I think I just wanted to highlight that.
Is that kind of stuff on our website? I haven't had the opportunity to go on lately.
It's on social media, so it's on the social media pages. Advocacy and legislation, we talked to a little bit. I continue to stay involved with the code review committee with the town. Another item was Empire State Development and K&H. They kind of were approached by Empire State. They were awarded a grant, like 200,000 plus tax credits for job creation that they never took advantage of. Now it seems like they will take advantage of it. So I'm kind of working with them through the process there. I don't know. It's one of those, hopefully they get this windfall. I don't know. But it was something that was around the time, I think it was right before I started. It was like around the time that K&H was buying out Tony Stone that this became involved. So there was an interesting meeting. I'm waiting on a proposal. We'll see what it's all about. There's a software developer that created this program called CivicServe. It's specialty software for economic developers. Be interesting to see, you know, how it comes in. It's kind of something that I think would benefit agencies larger than us, but it had interesting components in terms of like contact management, where, you know, like Jamel and Cam might deal with this a little bit. Like if we essentially log all our
CRM.
Yeah,
Oh.
so yeah, you probably have heard
I'll
that too.
do that.
So you know, you could have reports in terms of like how many contacts I've made, how many meetings I have, just to see kind of what what I'm doing with my time. So I thought that was interesting. And then you know, just kind of some of the benefits tracking and the reporting, similar to Paris, but a little bit more like, you know, graphical, you know, like I try to lean towards. So it kind of incorporated some of those CRM elements. So,
Are you interested in getting into it?
I would be, you know, we like the interest, they approached us to be a customer, as you know, purchase a license or however they do their software. You know, my concern is, this was before the holidays and waiting on a proposal, that a lot of, you know, that we're too small. Like it might be a good benefit to the ECIDA, or maybe we could do a joint purchase and use it in Amherst, you know, countywide. But, you know, we'll see. But it was interesting. It was interesting that, you know, there's not a lot of sophistication on the software side to what we're doing. So,
Cam's on,
you know,
you guys gotta have input on CRM systems.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a CRM system. It's just an ROI decision, right?
Yeah.
Is it worth it for you?
yeah.
Right. I mean, the CRM systems not only help us like track your activities, but it also helps you develop your activities as well, right? So it's a double-edged sword, but again, to Kim's point, like if there's no ROI, in it, it's kind of
Yeah.
useless, right?
Yeah, so the jury's kind of out until we see how the pricing comes in. And what it's about, I did convey to them, you know, what our annual budget is, what our staff size is, so.
How much time does it take to maintain the system?
Oh, it will take, you know, certainly there would be some time to upload. We'd probably start with all active projects and then go forward. So it's something, you know, it's something that it's interesting, you know, I'll continue to learn more about it. But you know, it certainly could be helpful, but you know, I think you do have to, you know, focus on how much time is it going to take to upload all this? What is it going to cost? You know, is it an annual cost, or, you know, something that we'd be locked into, you know, as we kind of would rely more on.
So Mary's gonna need an assistant.
No, I mean, it's not, this is just an idea. This is not happening.
How's that, Mary?
CRM is created for managers.
Yeah.
So it's good for the board, but it's ROI thing, and then the information's only as good as the information put in.
Yeah,
And a lot of times what I've seen, and I don't have vast enough experience with CRM, that people in managerial positions look at that as like, okay, I have 15 contacts today, I had 3 meetings, but the substance of the meeting, was it actually worth anything?
yeah.
is unknown because it's only as good as the information put in.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like, let's,
Yeah, I mean, kind of what, just so you get like, you might be getting too deep in this, but like, we basically maintain like files. So like each project has a file and sometimes emails. I'll print a PDF and drop in that file. I also in my email have folders with, generally problem projects, so we kind of, if they're lagging, and like, they're saying like, talk to some of our chairman, like, well, they're throwing here's the emails where Jennifer has reached out 3 times for updates and we don't have updates. So we track things in that. So there is some level there, but this would make it more sophisticated. So, it's just kind of interesting because in this kind of industry that I'm involved with, there's really nothing out there. So it's kind of interesting to see, what these.
I like the idea of a cooperative. you know, IDAs, like if you could get together and buy 10 licenses for all the small
Yeah,
IDAs together. like,
yeah,
I mean,
because we just don't have the same, that's really it. So, and it's a newer company. They might have like half a dozen clients.
For all, yeah.
Like nationally, I don't think they've really got anybody in the state. So that's that. What else do we got here? The HDC annual meeting is January 14th at Elio DePaulo's for those that would like to attend. And.
Did you get your board seats filled there?
Yeah,
Open board
yeah,
seats?
no, we had, actually, I think we have, 5 or 6 new board members
Good.
coming in, which is great, so, sometimes it's difficult getting activity, for people to kind of get involved with stuff, so no, that was good. It took some phone calls.
I bet.
These people don't come knocking on the door. It's not as easy as throwing something on Facebook and your phone rings, but, people have stepped up, so that was. Let's see. New business, unfinished business, any privilege of the floor? Any executive session, final comments?
To adjourn.
Motion to adjourn at 7:59 a.m.
Second.
Thanks.
yeah, how's the school board stuff going?
Pretty normal, the same as it's been for 10 years.
Thanks, everybody, for coming out. It's a cold war.
We just had new board members for the first time in a long time. So they're on and
Good to go.
things are going all right, I guess.
Oh, we're sorry, I didn't mean that. I thought we're done.
No, we are done. I mean, well, I'm gonna get rolling with the land, but we've got a minute.
So people do watch these things, by the way, but